Okay, so today is Sunday, 22nd December 2024. It's about 10 a.m. Nice sunny day. Air temperature is about 15 degrees centigrade, 60 degrees Fahrenheit. It was a bit lower overnight. As the sun is shining, it'd probably get up to maybe 21 degrees this afternoon. So it's very pleasant weather. Now, in my subtropical location, we're heading for winter temperatures in a few weeks' time. And I've only just started thinking about the cooler winter temperatures and how this affects my MEDAKA outdoors. Now, so obviously, this is going to be a bit late for those who keep MEDAKA outdoors in temperate climates. Um, you've had winter for quite some time already. But anyway, I'll ramble on about water temperatures. So I think I mentioned in a video some months ago, but there's some sort of general guideline of how to manage MEDAKA outdoors in cooler weather. And this maybe can be thought of in centigrade as the 15-10-5 rule. Or in Fahrenheit, it'd be 60-50-40. So when the temperature falls to about 15 degrees centigrade, which is what it is now, where are we? Let me have a look. Here's the water temperature. I think it's focusing. So it's about 15 degrees. So when it goes down to 15, the MEDAKA are reasonably active, moderately active. They're up at the water surface, looking maybe to eat moderate amounts of food. So if I give them a bit of food, let's see how interested they are in eating. As you can see, they're quite active. Not totally excited as they would be, say, if the temperature was 25 degrees centigrade. But yeah, they're happily eating. Bit more, bit more, bit more. Okay. So I usually feed them these temperatures once a day, 20 to 15 degrees. If the sun's shining like this and temperatures go up in the afternoon, then I'll feed them a second time. If temperatures get up to maybe, say, 20 degrees. Now, when it gets down to 10 degrees, then the MEDAKA usually only moves slowly. They may eat limited amounts of food. Maybe they're about mid-water rather than up at the surface all the time. But once you get down to 5 degrees centigrade, MEDAKA are usually motionless at the bottom of the tub, and they eat nothing. Let's have a look at these MEDAKA along here. Bit of food, bit of food, bit of food. Yeah, they're still interested in eating. 15 degrees centigrade. Now these sort of 15-10-5 temperatures rule, not precise, but just a general indication. And it's probably better to think about them as mean temperature, mean daily temperature, which is you average the nighttime low temperature and the maximum day temperature, and you get the mean. And you take maybe that mean daily temperature over a few days to give you a much better idea of how the MEDAKA are feeling about the cooler temperatures. But these temperatures are important, and here's a bit of geeky stuff, if you like. So MEDAKA are classified as teleost fish, and as such they don't have stomachs. They just have a digestive tract. Food goes in one end, straight through and straight out the other end. And as temperatures get lower, then the metabolism gets lower, slows down, and the digestive system slows down. And if it gets so low that the metabolism gets so low that the digestive system stops altogether, then the partially digested food in the gut may become rotten, and that's going to adversely affect the health of the MEDAKA. So, if it's warm enough for feeding MEDAKA, it's good to make sure that there's at least, say, 1.5 hours of these warmer temperatures for the MEDAKA to fully digest the food and to expel the waste before the temperature drops. So maybe another bit of geeky stuff. I'm not an expert, so this is greatly simplified. I might not have it quite right. But at 5 degrees centigrade, a MEDAKA becomes dormant because its metabolism has slowed right down, because its body temperature has become very low to match the very low ambient temperature, water temperature. However, this is not hibernation. This is dormancy. In warm-blooded animals, that actually hibernate, their bodies instinctively, automatically reduce body temperature down to match the ambient temperature, right? So they could maintain their body temperature at their normal warm-blooded blood temperature range, but they automatically or instinctively, their bodies adjust down to the very low temperatures. This is on a seasonable basis, and they do that in the winter because there's no food available to eat in the very cold weather. As I say, I'm not an expert, so I might have that quite right. But there's a difference between cold-blooded animals becoming dormant and warm-blooded animals that actually hibernate. Anyway, enough of the geeky stuff. So, in my subtropical climate and at my location's elevation, and with the MEDAKA tubs being in a location with a southerly aspect, and they're sheltered from prevailing cold winter winds, with all that information, I can say there's only about 10 days in the year when the mean daily temperature falls below 15 degrees centigrade. And even then, there's only about 2 or 3 days when it actually goes below 10 degrees. So for me, actual cold weather is not much of a problem for normal MEDAKA varieties, as long as they're reached a reasonable size. The more exotic, maybe long-fingered varieties or whatever, maybe more delicate. These and fry or very young juveniles probably not so happy in this type of cooler weather. But if low temperature forecast 1 or 2 days, I can easily cover the tubs. But if I go back to these young juveniles and fry and the more delicate MEDAKA, I can have mean daily temperatures maybe staying in the 15 to 18 degree range for weeks at a time. And as I say, these sorts of MEDAKA, the small ones, the more delicate ones, they may suffer a bit ill health, and it's not so good for them anyway. So the fry can grow. I mean, the fry won't grow probably very much if the temperature is below 20 degrees. So I keep some tubs with heaters under cover, but still outdoors. For some of them, the more adult, delicate MEDAKA, I might keep them at about 20 degrees. But if I'm trying to grow fry or very young juveniles who want them to grow and survive and grow well, I might sort of increase the temperature up to 25 degrees. As an example, in this 20 litre 5-gallon bucket, I've got some Orochi fry, a few weeks old. Probably if I left them in this bucket for the winter, they're going to grow hardly at all at these sorts of lower temperatures. Maybe half of them would die. I don't know, but a wild guess, maybe half would survive. But if I put them in a tub with a heater, keep them at about 25 degrees for the rest of the winter, they probably will have grown to big enough for breeding in the spring. As I say, at low temperatures, the growth rate is very, very slow. You put them up to 25 degrees and they should grow reasonably well. So, meanwhile, I'll continue to enjoy the current weather, which is very similar to a pleasant summer in a temperate climate. However, it'd not be so pleasant in a few weeks' time when it maybe drops to maybe the minimum 8 degrees centigrade for several days at night, and I don't have central heating. It's putting lots of clothes on. Okay,